Danny, you came back. What were we
What are you
exploring
exploring
today?
today? Yeah, I think you're going to take my interview for front end role. So why not you just ask some good questions for a front end engineer role?
All right, Danny, let's see what you've got. Tell me about a time you had to debug a particularly tricky piece of front end code. What was the challenge, and how did you approach finding a solution?
There are a lot of time I face challenge while debugging and particularly issues related to front end. So generally I put like a debugger in Chrome. That's the easiest way I able to find a root cause of a problem and then able to fix the issue. And apart from that, sometimes we have like a lot of dependencies on different packages, and the issue come from not from a one package, and we have to scroll through like a multiple packages. Yeah, sometimes it's a challenging, but yeah, to understand how whole front end work, that make easier to solve these.
That's a good starting point, and using Chrome's debugger is definitely a valuable tool. But in a complex project with many dependencies, as you mentioned, it can be like finding a needle in a haystack. Can you give me a specific example of a time you had to nail down an issue across multiple packages? What kind of strategies did you use besides just scouring through the code?
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
Danny, your Danny, your silence is telling. Sometimes it speaks louder than words. Are you maybe feeling a bit stuck on this question? No judgment here. That happens to the best of us. It's okay to pause, take a breath, and gather your thoughts. Or if you'd rather explore a different line of questioning, I'm all ears. What say you?
I think I don't remember the complete scenario, but there was a situation when there was some UI was not showing correctly when I was using that into a particular different code base, but in a independent package it was working very fine. So I was very doubtful how it is not working fine when I'm using in another place, but it is working fine independently. Then I tried to see the problem, and then I tried to the strategy I use is try to just run it in your local environment and then try to package it with the other packages and see how it is interacting and what are some of the things that are not coming there. It might be the some of the properties, or it might be the some of the values that are not coming, and then finding who provide these properties, and then checking are these dependencies are correctly integrated, or like are there some issue with these. So like finding out the right source who providing the detail that is missing, and then debugging that source help a lot.
That's a great example, Danny. You really illustrated a systematic approach to a tricky problem. Isolating the issue by testing it in a different environment, then tracing the flow of data and dependencies to pinpoint the source of the conflict. That's some solid detective work. It sounds like you're comfortable with debugging tools and have a knack for understanding complex interactions between packages. That's really valuable in front end development. Now, tell me, what are some of your favorite front end frameworks or libraries to work with, and why?
I guess
Yeah,
I work with lot of time with the some of the new libraries that are coming up, like the React and the Angular. But I enjoy most of the library that are more flexible and does not come with lot of uh, code. So it's easy to integrate more code if you want later on. So some libraries come with like a lot of flexibility. So I like these, but some come with lot of like configurations, lot of pre code base, so it's even it does not require much, so you feel uncomfortable using this that much code. So yeah, I think I am more comfortable using the packages that are more simpler and easier to configure later if we want. And I most probably enjoy writing in React.
I hear you, Danny. Sometimes those monolithic frameworks can feel a bit overwhelming, like having to wear a three-piece suit to a backyard barbecue. Simplicity and flexibility are key. React's definitely known for its lean approach and powerful component system. I can see why you gravitate towards it. Now, let's talk about collaboration. As a front end developer, You're often working with designers, back-end engineers, and maybe even product managers. How do you ensure your code is not only functional but also aligns with the overall design vision and meets the needs of other stakeholders?
Yeah, that's a very crucial point for an engineer. When you are a front end engineer, you have to collaborate with a lot of different technology people, and you have to consider their thinking and thoughts and adhere them in your code base. So like you have to listen them very carefully, because a lot of time we do issues because we don't listen them carefully, and we have like a prejudgment on the our thinking. So one is listening carefully, and second is like implementing and taking continuous feedback if you need. Otherwise you can take after completion of the code, but I prefer to take continuous feedback so I can fix the issue if there are some of the issues early come up, and I understand better.
I love that, Danny. Listen carefully and take continuous feedback. You're highlighting the human side of coding, which is sometimes overlooked. It's not just about lines of code, it's about communication, empathy, and building something together. Speaking of building things together, tell me about a project you've worked on where you had to overcome a significant technical challenge or find a creative solution to a complex problem. What did you learn from that experience?
Yeah, I think sometimes one of the project I work on, it was very complex. So we were building very like a user heavy application where it can be like a Chrome application. You have multiple tabs, so it was very challenging to understand the problems and like how to develop that application for many users. So yeah, to discussing with the team members and understanding how the complete product will work, it give a little better understanding, but also to have like a clear understanding how the code will be structured, it give you a more proper growth in the writing code. So like if you start writing code and later realize it's very hard to write further on because of the some of the complexity come up, so it's better to design your pseudocodes before.
I'm picturing it now, Danny, a multi-tab Chrome application, a real beast to wrangle. It's great that you collaborated closely with your team and planned ahead with pseudocode. That's a wise move, especially when tackling complex projects. Let's shift gears a little. The world of front end development is constantly evolving, with new technologies and trends popping up all the time. How do you stay up to date? And which emerging technologies are you most excited about?
Yeah, it's very difficult to stay up to date with the different technology coming up. So I try to read as much I can in my free time. So I read blogs, I read new news on the new technologies that are coming up, and I sometimes write my own new things, so it gives me a more understanding as a practical doing something. And definitely yeah, I also work with a lot of different people to learn and gain knowledge, so it gives me a more exposure.
I admire your dedication, Danny. Staying current in this field is like trying to catch the wind. Your approach of reading blogs, experimenting, and collaborating is a balanced and effective way to keep learning. So let's talk about one of those emerging technologies that piques your interest. What's got you buzzing these days? You know, Danny,
mm,
your silence is speaking volumes.
I think there's a lot of new
Third,
buzz coming up, like the VR, virtual reality, artificial intelligence. But yeah, building new application in front end that integrate these technology is very essential, and to understand how to build this technology in front end, because it's a very emerging technology, and to build new application without any proper guidance, it's very hard. But yeah, to try on is a good thing.
you're spot on, Danny. VR and AI are definitely pushing the boundaries of front-end development. It's a fascinating yet uncharted territory for many, which is both exciting and intimidating. Do you have any particular ideas brewing for how these technologies could be integrated into a front-end application? What kind of user experience do you envision?
Yeah, I guess all the new age apps are that coming. We can integrate the virtual reality. It might be like teaching to some hospital or like building some 3D applications. So it would help a lot for using virtual reality because it reduces the cost of development and it give you access to a lot of different things.
Us, great example, Danny. Virtual reality in healthcare training has massive potential. Putting on a headset and experiencing a simulated surgical procedure firsthand could be transformative. What about AI? How do you see AI shaping the future of front end development and the user experience?
I don't see much the AI would do, but yeah, I think that's all question I have to ask. I think you should ask, and we can wrap up.
Well, Danny, you've been